Hello, my precious people of the Lord. Today I will tell you about the most absurd and thrilling story in the Bible, the incident of the fish that brought money. This is not just a fishing story. It is a heavenly adventure that is comical yet full of faith, intertwined with Jesus' miracles and Peter's obedience. So are you ready to grab Peter's fishing rod and set off for the Sea of Galilee? Let's cast the net. Peter was a professional fisherman in Galilee. He was a man of the sea with a sense of smell and net casting skills. Before he met Jesus, he would set out on his boat every morning saying, "Let's have a great catch today." If he had an Instagram feed, he would have attracted followers with hashtags like Galilean Net. However, after following Jesus as a disciple, Peter upgraded to a fisherman who caught not only fish, but also people. One day, Peter and Jesus' group were staying in Capernaum. At that time, the people who collected the temple tax approached Peter. "Teacher, do you pay the temple tax or not?" This tax was something that every Jewish man had to pay at the time, like the temple maintenance fee. In modern terms, it would be like asking, "Have you paid the church offering?" Peter answered cheerfully, "Of course," but inside he must have been sweating, thinking, "Oh, our wallets are empty. Where can we get the money?" Peter tried to report the situation to Jesus, but Jesus already knew everything. He smiled and said, "Don't worry, Peter. Go to the sea and cast your fishing rod. Open the mouth of the first fish you catch, and you'll find a silver coin. Pay your and my taxes with it." Peter was shocked when he heard this. He must have thought, "What? A fish is bringing money? Jesus, are you kidding me?" This would be like saying, "The ATM is broken, so go to the river and get your card out of the fish's mouth." Peter must have tilted his head inwardly, thinking, "I've been a fisherman for 10 years, but this is the first time I've seen a fish bite money." But he believed in Jesus. It was as if the Almighty Lord had said, "Peter, I'll show you a miracle show." Peter went to the Sea of Galilee with a fishing rod. He grumbled, "How could this possibly happen?" But he still cast his line. The first fish was caught. He was half believing and half-heartedly opened the fish's mouth. And voila! A silver coin was shining. Exactly the amount for the temple tax for 2 people, about 4 drachmas. Peter's eyes widened, and he must have jumped up and down, saying, "Jesus, is this real?" He ran to the tax collector with the silver coin and proudly handed it over, saying, Here's the tax, even for our teacher." The tax collectors asked, "Where did you get this money?" He must have wondered, but Peter must have smiled inside, saying, "This is the Lord's VIP service. This scene is the climax of a completely comical miracle movie." The story of the fish bringing money is not a simple tax settlement case. It is a heavenly message that shows Jesus' sovereignty and the power of obedience. Jesus rules over heaven and earth and even the fish of the sea. Peter obeyed his words and experienced an impossible miracle. What can we learn from this story? Jesus rules over everything. Money problems, financial difficulties, tax worries, no matter how small they seem, if we leave them in Jesus' hands, miracles will happen. Let's leave our wallets with the Lord who put silver coins in the fish's mouth. Obedience is a miraculous fishing line. Peter thought, "This is ridiculous," but he obeyed. Let's put aside our doubts and cast our fishing line at the Lord's direction. God takes care of everything. Jesus took care of even small issues like taxes. Trust the Lord who takes care of our daily lives in detail. To use humor, this incident is like a heavenly delivery service. When Peter said, "I don't have money," Jesus said, "Don't worry, I'll send you the fish by courier." But this courier service includes free delivery and even a miracle. Are you ready to order the Lord's delivery app? The fish that came with money calls out to us. Trust in Jesus' sovereignty and move forward in obedience. When the world is squeezing us with money worries and anxiety about the future, shout out like Peter, "Lord, I will do as you say." Almighty God turns our small obedience into miraculous silver coins. Like Gideon's 300 warriors and Naaman's humility, cast your fishing line into the Lord's sea of miracles with obedience today. The Lord will make you a fisher of faith. In closing, I pray that this story will ignite a heavenly flame in your faith. Put aside your worries about money and live a joyful and abundant life in the Lord. I bless you that you will get one step closer to the Almighty Lord through this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and set notifications. See you next time.